Hi students, myself Shushobhan Chatterjee, Assistant Professor of Sri Ramakrishna Institute of Science and Technology, is going to present the lectures of lathe part 2, where I shall discuss regarding the function of parts. As we have discussed, there are various parts in lathe machine, so the important part of lathe machine is first this bed. This bed is nothing but the base of the machine. It bears the headstock in the left side, tailstock in the right side, extreme right side, and in between the headstock and tailstock there is a carriage. For accurate machining operations, the lathe bed must be satisfied the following condition. There are 4 conditions. Number 1 condition, it should be sufficiently rigid to prevent deflection under the tremendous cutting pressure transmitted through the tool post and carriage to the lathe bed. It is an important point. Second point, it must be massive with sufficient depth to absorb vibration. So whenever we will give the depth of cut, then the vibration will be occur and it should be absorb this vibration mainly. And this third point is very important. It must be resist the twisting stress set up due to the resultant of the two forces, which I have discussed before in the case of orthogonal or oblique cutting. So, due to this resistance for this twisting stress, the lathe bed should be like that. I have shown here a small figure. These are these bedways here, and in bedways there are ribs fitted. This is the diagonal rib. And the fourth point is the bed should be seasoned naturally to avoid distortion or warp that may develop when it is cooled after the bed is cast. Actually, the bed material is made by cast iron, so it is done by the casting process. So this should be follow up. And the lathe bed consists of guideways. This is guideways of the carriage and tailstock also. On this lathe bed, the tailstock and the carriage will move. So the bed material should be high compressive strength, should be wear resistance and absorb vibration. And due to this condition, the bed material should be cast iron alloyed with nickel and chromium. Okay. Now the second important part is this headstock. This headstock is fitted in the left portion of this bed and it is secured permanently on lathe bed. This headstock bears the power source and also the power transmission system, that is gearbox, and the important part is this spindle, which I have shown you this figure. And the spindle, which is hollow here, the spindle hole is here, and in front of the spindle there is a threaded end, and in this left portion, and in the right portion there is a threaded nose, and in front portion there is a sleeve fitting, this taper sleeve, and within this taper sleeve there is a center fitted here. This center hole is this center hole arrangement with this taper sleeve is Morse taper. This Morse taper is nothing but the metric taper, which I shall discuss regarding whenever I shall discuss regarding the taper. Okay. So this life center is fitted here, and this life center will rotate according to the requirement of the machining process. Now here we can fit a chuck instead of this life center. We can remove this life center from here and we can fit here a chuck on this threaded nose. Now the very important question is why the speed changing is necessary in case of lathe machine. There are 7 conditions on which the speed changing is necessary. The number 1 condition is this type of material to be cut. If this parent material which we will going to cut, this is very hard and tough, then the speed will be lower. If this base material or cutting material of this job is soft, then the speed will be higher. So in case of aluminium machining, the speed will be higher. But if we cut the machine this steel, then the speed will be lower than aluminium. If the type of cutting tool material is hard, then we can raise the speed. So whenever we will use high carbon steel, then the speed of this job will be lesser compared to the cutting tool of cemented carbide or ceramics tools. So these ceramic tools or carbide tools are more efficient and it will give lesser time due to this cutting speed variation. Third point is the type of finish. If we want the finish cut with small depth of cut, then we will give the high speed. If we get the rough cut with higher depth of cut, then we will give the lower speed. If the diameter of the work will be greater, then we have to give the lower speed. If the diameter of the work is high, then it will be slower speed. Just reverse. High diameter, greater diameter, lower speed, lesser diameter, higher speed. The type of operation, if it is the operation like turning, drilling, then we have to give the high speed. If it is the operation of threading operation, knurling operation, then we will give the slower speed. Rigidity of the condition of the machine. If the machine is very good machine with new machine and the strongly grouted, then we can give the higher speed. And the last point is the cutting fluid, type of cutting fluid. If we use the proper cutting fluid, we can give the higher speed. Okay. Now the speed changing in lathe machine we can give by the two method. One is belt driven headstock, another is all gear headstock. Initially I have shown you the belt driven headstock. There are two speed, direct speed and indirect speed. There is a figure I have shown you. Here there is a step pulley. The step pulley is fitted on this spindle, and with this step pulley in left portion there is a gear A. In right portion there is a gear D. This gear is called bull gear, and this bull gear and this cone pulley is aligned or fitted by the help of bull pin. And in front of this portion gear there is a face plate. This face plate will getting motion from this cone pulley directly. And here also there are back gears fitted. This back gear is called gear B and gear C. These are back gear. These are fitted on the back gear spindle, and there is a handle. Now here a motor is fitted, here is a motor fitted, and with this motor there is a spindle, the spindle of this motor, and within the spindle there is a cone pulley fitted. This cone pulley is just opposite of the step of this cone pulley. Here we are observing there are 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4 step. So 4 speed we are getting, but here the diameter is lower, and here on this motor spindle the diameter is higher. Just reverse of this cone pulley here fitted. So whenever this motor is rotating, the cone pulley are rotating, and from this cone pulley the belt is fitted here, and ultimately from this cone pulley this motion of this cone pulley is going through in this cone pulley or step pulley through this belt, and we are getting these motions here. So as there are 4 steps, we are getting the 4 different speed, and this speed is going directly to this face plate as the bull pin is engaged with this cone pulley to this gear, this bull gear. Okay, this is called direct speed. But whenever we are engaging these gears B and C by the handle here, by pressing this handle, this gear will engage with this gear B, and gear C will engage with the gear D. This handle is engaging here. Then lock pin, bull pin will be disengaged from here. The speed will be going from gear A to gear B to gear C, and gear C to gear D. So there will be reduction speed as this gear A diameter is lesser than this gear B. So there is a speed reduction, and from gear C, this gear C is lesser than gear D. So there is also another speed reduction. So by this 2 speed reduction, ultimately the speed will be reduced, and there are 4 speed also. So there are 8 speed, 4 direct speed and 4 indirect speed we are getting. We are demonstrating these 2 formula. For direct speed, there is a formula, the surface speed pi d1 n1 equal to pi d2 n2. So we are getting n2 is equal to n2 equal to d1 by d2 into n1. We are getting this speed this pi D1 means the diameter of the cone pulley here the cone pulley here fitted, and this RPM N1 here, and this is the second pulley D2, and this RPM is N2. So we are getting the speed here N2 equal to D1 by D2 into N1. Here 4 speed are getting, and naturally in indirect speed there are also speed. The speed will be ND equal to NA into ZA by ZB into ZC by ZD. ZA and ZB, this A teeth of the drive gear, and this is ZB teeth of the driven gear. This is drive gear, this is driven gear. Here this is drive gear and this is driven gear. So in upper portion, that is the teeth of the drive gear ZA, ZC, and in the lower portion the teeth of the ZB and ZD and the driven gear. So we are getting 4 direct speed and 4 indirect speed. Now I am coming to the next slide, that is the all geared head drive. All geared head drive, this mechanism may be 3 types: sliding gear mechanism, sliding clutch mechanism, and combination of above 2 types. Sliding gear, sliding clutch mechanism, and combination of above 2 types. There are 3 mechanisms, but in maximum place we are using this combination of above 2 types, and this mechanism is almost same as the geared drive in a automobile car. Okay, so there are 9 speed we are getting. There is a gearbox. I have shown you this 9-speed gearbox. This is fast pulley and this is loose pulley. There are different gears fitted. This is the spindle spline shaft here. This is getting motion directly here, and from this motion there is intermediate shaft in between this spline shaft and this headstock spindle. There is intermediate shaft, and here the life center is fitted. There are different gears, 4, 5, 6 gear. There are different gears, 7, 8, 9, 3 numbers gears, and here in the headstock spindle there are 11, 12, 13, 3 number of gears fitted. So there are 9 gears, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 speed all gear headstock. I have shown you, and the gear combinations are like that: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are I have written here clearly. So here I have shown you particularly this number 5. Just you understood this. So the speed is coming from this motor to this belt, this pulley, and from this pulley there the speed is going to first pulley or loose pulley. Whenever the belt is in loose pulley, then there will be no movement from motor to this gearbox. When this belt is shifted from loose pulley to this fast pulley, then this motion of this motor is going to this fast pulley, and this fast pulley is giving the rotation to this spline shaft. This spline shaft is rotating, these gears are rotating in same speed, and from this spline shaft these gears is giving the motion to this intermediate gears, and also through this intermediate shaft, and from this intermediate gear this power transmitting to this headstock spindle and ultimately to the life center through this gear. So I have shown you a combination, particularly Z5 by Z8 into Z8 by Z12. So I have stated before, there are this Z5 and Z8. These are upper portion are the teeth of the drive gear, and in the lower portion the teeth of the driven gear. So in case of Z5, it is a drive gear. This Z5 is giving the motion to Z8. So Z5 by Z8. This is driver by driven, and whenever this Z8 to Z12, then Z8 is the driver, Z12 is driven. So Z8 by Z12. So I have shown you this combination Z5, Z8, Z8, Z12. This number 5 combination I have shown you, and ultimately this speed is going to this life center. So this is called 9-speed all gear headstock, as there are 9 speeds showing here. So this is the total all gear headstock. And now I am coming to this next portion, tailstock. This tailstock is fitted in the extreme right portion of this on bed guideways, and this tailstock is movable on the inner guideways provided on the bed to accommodate in different length of the workpiece, and this this tailstock may be moved longitudinally towards the head's life center. On this lathe bed, it may be moved on the inner guideways, and the tailstock may be moved crosswise also whenever we are getting the taper turning operation, the set over of this tailstock is required, then we can move the tailstock in this direction. So parallel to the axis of the job, we are generally moving the tailstock, and we can move this perpendicular to this axis of the job, we can move also this tailstock, and on the tailstock bears the dead center, but instead of dead center we can feed this center drill, twist drill, reamer, etc. according to the requirement of the operations. And there is a important part that is called carriage. This carriage carry mainly this saddle, cross slide, compound race, tool post, and apron. So carriage is a important part which is fitted between this headstock and tailstock. In between this headstock and tailstock, so it is a very important parts. And on carriage there is a tool post. On tool post there is a fitting, tool fitting. The tool is moving according to these two direction. One is longitudinal direction, another is cross direction. So whenever this tool is going through this longitudinal movement, that is called longitudinal feed, and whenever it is going to this perpendicular to the axis of this job, that is called cross feed. So in carriage we can give this feed movement by the help of this apron. This apron is called apron mechanism. We can give this mechanism in the carriage. So this is called apron mechanism. Okay, so this carriage is very important part. And another part is that important, this feed mechanism. For this particularly this feed mechanism, there is a feed rod fitted. This feed rod is a rod which is fitted just below this carriage, and this feed mechanism is consist of end of bed gearing, feed gearbox, feed rod, and apron mechanism. So this apron mechanism is applied here through this feed rod actually, which moves the carriage in two direction. One is longitudinal direction, another is cross direction. And in last, there is a thread cutting mechanism. This thread cutting mechanism is given by the lead screw, which is fitted just above this feed rod. So this is the total parts of these lathe machines. And now I am completing my second part of these lathe machines. If you have any questions regarding these topics, you can ask me after this session. Thank you to everybody.